I'm a chicken charmer. You've heard of the dog whisperer, Caesar Milan? He's leader of the pack. I'm queen of the flock. And hello, this has nothing to do with a summer job. From a, why is this doing this? Okay. Closer to the mic? Okay, all right. Through completely different circumstances on another story, I have chickens. We live up in Gainesville. Poultry capital of the world, yes. But this is not a big chicken farm. We have pet chickens, and this is the whole thing about chicken charmers. When a real chicken farmer has a sick chicken, he makes chicken soup out of the chicken. Chicken charmers don't do that. Our girls make us breakfast. Caesar Milan never had a pit bull Denver omelet. But when one of our chickens gets sick, there are pets. There aren't that many vets who treat chickens. They're scarcer than hen's teeth. So you have to go, and I'm a librarian, so as Sarah said, you go research. And through social media and the wonders of the internet, there's a huge online community of chicken charmers. If you want to find out what kind of chicken lays blue eggs, you go to the chickenchat.org and find out. You want to know who lays green eggs? Those are Aracanas, Americanas, or Easter eggers. Blue eggs are cream leg bars. If you want good chickens to let your children play with, Silkies are your best bet. I've got a little of all of them. They're like potato chips. You can't have just one. And they're social animals. What's the cricket noises? Okay. That's not a hook, getting ready. Okay. So my favorite chicken is Betty. At the end of a long, hard day, I will come home, get a glass of wine, go get Betty out of the coop. We will sit on the deck. She sits on my lap, and we watch the wild birds go to the feeders. And she watches them flit around. Now, Silkies don't have hard feathers, so they don't fly very well. They've got little fluffy feathers like marabou. They're very, very, very sweet, non-aggressive birds, and they're small, bandies. Betty sits on my lap, and we'll watch the birds flit in and out of the wild bird feeder. And she watches them, and then she'll look at me like, how do they do that? So I went out one day to get her out of the coop, and she didn't want to come out. So I grabbed her, and I'm going to go right on top of it? Okay. I got her out, and she had one eye swollen closed. There was a piece of hay in it, and I got it out, and she opened it up and blinked around. We were all fine. So we went and had our little end of the day. 2 days later, I went out to the coop, couldn't find her, looked high and low. When I did manage to get her, that eye that had the hay in it was swollen shut. I mean, like golf ball size swollen. So I went inside to see what you do with a chicken with an injured eye. Went to the great brain. And it turns out it's not all that unusual. Chickens scratch up all kinds of stuff, so they're always getting things in their eyes, and it's all right. I had a first aid kit for my girls. Latex gloves, Neosporin, olive oil, that's a completely different story. And so I took it out, went to grab Betty. She did not want to come out. She growled at me. That's a funny sound from a little chicken. Now, most of you have never seen a real chicken, but you've seen a lot of them at Kroger. You know of a whole chicken, that little triangular nub at the back of the chicken, that's where the tail feathers come out. That nub is a really good place to grab when you want to pull a reluctant chicken out of the coop. I'm getting really good at it. I'm going to be a chicken wrangler in my next life. So I got Betty out, and we set up the triage area, AKA the deck chair and a table, and a big glass of wine. So I put a warm compress on her eye, held it for a little bit. She stopped struggling. It started to feel good. Put some Neosporin in it. Everything was okay. And then I got the magic ending, the mealworms. Freeze-dried mealworms are chicken crack. Oh my God. That's the best way to civilize a new girl and let them know that they've died and gone to chicken heaven when they've come to my house. So I figure there are no antibiotic properties to mealworms. But when you take a kid to the doctor and they get a shot, you take them for ice cream, it's the same thing for a chicken. She had to undergo all of this horrible process, and I gave her mealworms. So we did this every day for 5 days, and I opened up, swelling went away, infection was gone. Last week, my husband went out to the coop. He went to feed the girls, check for the eggs. When he came back in, he said, "What's the deal with Betty?" I said, "Oh my God, is she sick again?" He said, "No, when I got the eggs and put the water in, I went to the door. She ran in front of me and got to the door and went." Betty was a good girl. Thank you.